रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमू रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ओन्नम इति। अथ श्री माहेश्वर सूत्राणि अ ई उण् रुल्रक् ए ओङ् ऐ औच् हयवरट् लण् ञम ङ ण नम् झबङ् घडदश् जबगडदश् कफ छठ थ छठ थव कफैष ष सर हल इति माहेश्वर सूत्राणि. Today actually I'm going to start with something, a correction from 7 months back, not correction but a confirmation from 7 months back, which actually Anuji is in the class. Namaskar Anuji.
Yes, Satishji.
You know the book that you got me from India, the set of 3 books Shankarji gave you.
Yeah.
Actually, I found something in that. You know, if you recall way back in May, on May 4th of 2011, we had this completely out of today's context, but we're looking at this example at that time, and I was scratching my head for a long time to find an answer to a question. And luckily, the book that you gave me, it confirms, you know, what we are talking about. So the example at that time, we're looking at the sutram, long, I think Dirghatamam Sutram. Ashtadhyayam Dirghatamam Sutram. I think it's probably one of the longest rules in Ashtadhyayi. It is this 5477. This is when you're talking about these. I think we Dvandva Samasa Vishaye, Dvandva Samasas. Sutram 5477. Achatura, Vichatura, Suchatura, Stri, Pumsa, Dhenva, Naduha, Riksama, Vangmanasa, Kshibhruva, Dara, Gaurvashchiva, Urvashchiva, Padashchiva, Naktandiva. So Naktandiva. This is long sutram. So we are talking about how to form this compound Naktam cha divacha anayoho samaharaha Naktandivam. If you recall, long time back, 7 months ago. So this sutram is 5477. These are all nipatyante. So etani rupani nipatyante. So these forms are given as a ready-made form by this sutram by Panini, but they all are ending in the pratyaya ach. So Panini basically gives the pratyaya ach, and then there are some other things which go on in there that also Panini gives us directly. So sutram is achatura, vichatura, suchatura, stri pumsa, dhenva naduha, riksama, vangmana, sakshibhruva, dara, gavorvashtiva, padashtiva, naktandiva. Okay, so that time what you're saying is that we derived the compound. There's no problem with deriving the compound. Naktancha divacha chanayoho samaharaha naktam diva, and then the pratyaya ach was given by the sutram 5477, and naktam and diva are both, you know, avyaya pade. So we get avyaya dapsupaha supluk. Then we got naktam div. We got the akara lopaha. We can use yasyeticha because the angam gets the bhasanya. Because of yachibam, angam gets the bhasanya, because the pratyach is coming in 5477. So it is in the section of Swadishva Sarvanamasthane. Swadi pratyaya goes all the way from 412 to end of chapter 5. So we got the bhasanya, then we use this one here, naktam div we got that. And then so far we were fine, and we got naktam chadivacha. Okay. I should put this on the top somewhere. So anyway, this I just copied paste from that class, so I can put this on top. Okay, so now we got Naktan Diva plus. So far we got Naktan Diva, and then what we did was, of course, we can get the Monuswaraha, and then, you know, Anuswarasri Parasavaranaha, and then Mahapadantasya. All that was fine. So we can get these two forms, Naktan Diva and Naktan Diva. But the question was, when we take the Prathama Ekvachanam of that, when you got the Pratyaya Su, in the Bala Manorama it was stated that Navyad Atom. So this sutram they're using as 2483, which is what was very confusing to me at that time. Because how can we use that sutram 2483? The 2483 Sutram only applies for an Avyabhava Samasa, which is going to be the next lesson for us. We have not done 2483 yet, but 2483 only applies Na Avyabhava Ato Amto Panchamyaha. If you have an Avyabhava Samasaha, then instead of getting the sup look, we get the Adesha house pratyaya. And there are some other conditions and all that happens. And that was what, the Bala Manorama had given. Now I was thinking, how can we use 2-4? In fact, this is from that time we put this in the class notes at that time. Bala Manoramayam tu Navye Bhava Datomta Panchamya iti Sutrena Ambhava iti Sthitam. That Chintaniyam we put at that time. Now, Anuji got me a book from India, which is published by this Pondicherry Institute with the help of Rashtriya Samskrit Samsthan and also the French Institute. So they have given, I think it's going to be an 8-volume set, I believe. So the 2 volumes which we have so far, the Samasa Prakaranam and Tinganta Prakaranam. So just today in the afternoon I was thinking about it, and it just hit me. Actually, Shankar just asked me recently, do you want a CD of this? So I was looking at these books and I said, I remember something we had a question back in May. Sometime we had a question about a Samasaha. See, this book gives all the examples in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, in the Kashika and Mahabhashyam, and gives all the steps for them. So I said, let me now go and look if this book should have the example Naktan Divam. Because the Kashika has Sutram itself has Naktan Diva, it has. See, Sutram only gave us up to this Naktan Diva. Did not give Naktan, it gave the Pradipadikam form in the Sutram. The Pradipadikam form in the Sutram was given by Naktan Diva. And that was, 5-4. Did not give Naktan Divam. It gave the Pratipadikam. So Naktan Diva we have from Pani, Naktan Diva we have. But now when we take the Pratama Ekavachanam of that, Naktan Diva, how do we get Naktan Divam? That was the question. And what was confusing at that time was that the Bala Manorama was saying that use this Sutram 2483, Na Avyabhavad Atom to Panchamyaha. We don't have Avyabhava right now. We have a Samahara right now, Samahara Dvandvaha. So unfortunately the sad part is that the disappointing part is that I looked at about literally 5-6 different books which I have. Some books didn't give the details, and the books which did, unfortunately, only repeated what the Bala Manorama said. These are all good books, they're good books, but unfortunately not a single book was able to help me. I spent literally one whole afternoon thinking about this before the class, and I could not find any book which gave this Samadhana. Luckily, Anuji got the book from India, and this is what this book says, by the way. So this book is a very, very large book. Luckily, Anuji got from India, carry all the way. But that has become Sapalaha Prayasaha. Your efforts have paid good results, because this book says that it does derive. It goes through these steps. It derives Naktan Diva. Then we add the Pratyaya See, because it's 2-4-17 says Sanapumsakam. So in Napumsakam, you should get Atoam. You get the Adesha in place of Su, Amipurvaha. So I don't know why this one was coming to play at all at that time. And his book says that. He says that Yattu Balamanoramayam Naktan Divam Ityatra Avibhavatvam Uktam Tatra Pramanam Anveshtavyam. So he not only gave the right form, he also told that yes, in Balamanorama it does say it's Avyabhava. Tatra Avyabhavatvam Uktam Tat Pramanam Anveshtavyam. So thank you, Anuji, after about 7 months. So this is the name of the book, Paniniya Vyakarana Udaharana. So they have put this book by the Anuji has very few typos. I haven't noticed any typos so far. And they have put in really a good effort to, at least somebody is out there who's thinking and analyzing and writing. The lesson to be learned is that, don't accept anything in Vyakaranam unless you are convinced this is correct. You keep it as a pending question. This was a pending question for us. We didn't find the answer. But rather than just gulping down what somebody said and just saying, okay, this is correct, we said, okay, we'll keep it as a pending. We don't understand what is going on. Of course, we might be missing something. So many times we are missing something. That is, of course, true. And again, not to put down anybody, because, the sad thing is that actually the Bala Manorama is a very good commentary. It makes a lot of good points. It makes it lot is easy in many places, but there are some glaring editing errors in that. Our Bhimsen Shastriji has written a book on that. That Bala Manorama, I think Bhranti Darshanam, where he explains that amazingly today, as I said to you, almost nobody studies the Ashtadhyayi. Almost everybody studies only Siddhanta Kaumudi. That too only Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. And Siddhanta Kaumudi means almost every book. This is what Bhimsen Shastriji complains about this. That almost every book is published with the Bala Manorama Tika, which has in it glaring errors, and nobody has bothered to correct them. I mean that at least that we know of. I've heard of somebody who has done that, but I don't have the book. But the amazing thing is that it just goes on like that. That is the disappointing thing in the Shastram, is that books get published, unfortunately, with the same error, just keep on going and going. I checked about literally 3 or 4 books that I have, and all of them. I mean, this is such an. I mean, in hindsight, it's such an obvious thing. This talking about Avyabhava Samasa. This Sutram 243 applies only in the case of an Avyabhava Samasa. We don't have that. We have a Dvandva Samasa here. And still, unfortunately, it just keeps on going and going, for such a long time. Anyway, this book, they have made the effort, and they have put, at least not only given the correct form, but they have used the Sutram 7124 correctly. They have used, which is what we did. We would have used 7124. In fact, I remember back in May when we had the Sutram, we put this. I don't know. This I copied from that May class. Is that the Chintaniyam? We don't know how it came. It's exactly what this book says. Yattu Bala Manoramayam Naktan Divam Ityatra Avyabhavattam Uktam Tat Pramanam Anveshtavyam. That we don't understand how that is coming from. So anyway, this is a good book. I was happy at least that finally, after 7 months, we find somebody who is given the correct form and also put in the effort to check everything, and put in. So this apparently is going to come out in CD form, Anuji, is what Shankarji told me. So maybe we can get the CD. I think this is supposed to be like an 8-volume set. So far, we have 3 volumes. I have 3 volumes which Anuji got. The first volume is an index of all the examples. The second volume is a detail of the Samasa Prakaranam. And the third volume is a detail of the Tingana Prakaranam. Also a good book because it gives all the steps. It gives all the steps required for all the examples in the Siddhanta Kaumudi and in the Kashika and in the Mahabhashyam. And one more book that he gives. Anyway, so far we have only Samasa Prakaranam and Tingana Prakaranam in detail. But we also have the index of all the examples. In brief we have. That's volume 1. And anyway, so after a long time we found this one. So I put the comment now here. It's called the Paniniya Vyakarana Udaharana Kosha. That's what this book is called, and it's apparently you're going to get some CDs maybe soon of that book also. So it's a large book, so you may probably want to get the CDs because the book is nice, by the way. It's a very good print, and enormous amount of effort has gone to this book. Enormous amount of effort, and it's a good print. It's very detailed book, which is exactly what the book is meant for, to give all the step by step, detail by detail. And so good to have it. Again, I don't mean to put down either Bala Manorama or any of the other books because, as I said, Bala Manorama is actually a very good commentary. It makes a lot of good points, but we have to be careful and we avoid these glaring errors. Okay, thank you, Anuji. So I was thinking about it today, and this afternoon I was thinking about it, and I just happened to pick up it's almost like, Panini's grace, guiding us along. Because I didn't have this book, and Anuji and Shankarji asked me, do you want this book? I said, okay, send it. And Anuji had gone to India, she came back, and then after, luckily I met her at temple and we got the book. And she was sitting with me, and Shankarji asked me, do you want the CDs? I said, okay, because then I said, let me look at these books in detail. And I looked at, then this afternoon it hit me that we had this question over samasas a few months back. Let me see this book gives that. What does it give? And sure enough, it gave the whole, so this is amazing how these things happen. So it happened more than once like that. So Good.
Nice to hear you being so happy, Satishji. Yeah.
No, because this is Vyakaranam, this Vyakaranam Anandaha. This is the Ananda that we get. No, but I really spent one whole afternoon thinking about this. And I could not find...
You're a great teacher.
No, I could not find the Samadhanam for that. I couldn't. I looked at 4 or 5 books which I have. And they are all quite good books, but unfortunately not. And then I was worried. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But it looked so obvious to me. This is Avyabhava Samasa. How can we use, if you listen to the recording from that class, you'll see that also. That I just could not convince myself. So we left it as a question. And then luckily we got, I think, at least a good confirmation now from the scholars that we were on the right track. We were on the right track at that point. Okay. So anyways, this is not today's class, but I just wanted to pass it along. So from May 4th class, so that our method was correct, our method. But now I have one more question. I close this question. I open up another question. The question is that in this book, which, again, I don't want to take too much time. This is not today's topic. But in this book, at this step when it came, I just want to put this out to you and keep this as the next question now, is that when we came to Naktan Diva plus Ach, okay, we got the Bhasanya by Yachibham. Instead of using this 64148, which is Yassi Tichava, which I think it should apply over here. Because 64148, if you look at the Vritti of 64148, it says that Ikare Tadite Chapare Bhasya Ivarna Varna Yor Lopaha. So I think 64148 should be fine at this point, because we do have an Angam which is ending in the Avarnaha, the Akaraha. The Angam has the Bhasanya, and so I think we can use Yasyaticha. In this book, he has used a Vartikam, which is that Avyayanam Bhamatre T Lopa is a Vartikam. The Vartikam also is Anityam Vartikam. Doesn't apply everywhere. I don't understand why, leaving behind a Panini Sutram, which I think should apply. I'm checking all the conditions, which is that, as I said to you, Ivarnantasya, so Ikare, I think is a typo, I think, Ikare Tadite Chapare, Bhasya, Ivarna Varna Yor Lopaha. That's what it says. So we do have an Angam which has Bhasanya, which even the book accepts. We have the Bhasanya. So there's no controversy there. Angam as Bhasanya is well accepted. We have Yachibham, straightforward. And we do have an Angam ending in the Avarna, Dirgha Akaraha. Then I think we should be able to use Yasyaticha, because Ivarnantasya Avarnantasya Bhasya Lopavoti Tadite Ikare Chapare, because Ach is coming in 54177. The Ditaha goes from 4176 to end of 54. So is Kalpesh in the class? Is that you, Kalpesh, any chance? Okay, Kalpesh might be.
Yes.
Can you think of this one quickly? Because this is a good book, Kalpesh. If you want, I'll give you maybe when Shakaji send the CDs, I'll give you some CDs. But we had this situation, Naktam Diva plus Pratyaya Ach, and we get the Bhasanya by Yachibham. Now we should be able to use Yasyaticha, right? What do you think?
Yasyaticha sounds right.
I'm sorry?
Yasyaticha definitely sounds right.
Then why is this book using the it sounds right, because Ivarnantasya Avarnantasya Bhasya Lopabhoti Tadite Ikare Chapare. And it's definitely right now the Ach has Sanya of Tadita, because it's coming in 5477. But this book says it uses the Vartikam. The Vartikam is fine. Avyayanam Bhamatre T Lopaha. That Vartikam is Anityam Vartikam, but since the Sutram applies, I don't understand why the book is using the that I don't know. So that is my next question now. The next question is that why is that it says Avyayanam, this is Avyayanam, Bhamatre T Lopa. This is a Vartikam. Bhamatre T Lopaha. And this, as Bhattu said, this Vartikam is Anityam. Doesn't apply all the time also. So now I don't know why this book is using that. Any ideas, Kalpesh? What could be the reason? I mean, Diva is an Avyayam, I understand that. And we can use this Vartikam also. Why do we need it? We can use the Sutram. Maybe we should write to them now and ask them why. Any idea, Kalpesh? What's going on? I have no idea. I don't know why.
No, Satishji.
Because, I mean, this Sutram should work here, Yasyaticha. Because we do have an avarnantam angam. It has the
Yeah, then nothing
bhasanya.
stops.
Nothing should stop that because I see the pratyaya is tadita pratyaya. Anyway, this just chintaniyam. That's the next question now. So maybe 7 months from now, when the classes are over, I'll find an answer to this. But I don't know. I don't know why the book uses. It's not a big point because you can use either one. I mean, both work. Both will work. Because this Vartikam also will work because avyayana bhamatre ti lopa. So as soon as this gets the bhasanya, it takes ti lopa. So that is fine. Diva is an avyayam. So is naktam. So we get the ti lopa. But why do we need that? Sutrenaiva karyam siddham. Vartikena kim tarhi. What's the use of Vartikam when you can use a sutra? Okay, so this I don't know. This is the next question to be answered at some point from
No, Vartikam Avyayana.
What's that?
Sadhji, can you explain that Vartikam further? Can you explain that Vartikam further?
See, avyayana bhamatre means, as soon as you get the bhasanya, as soon as an avyayam gets the bhasanya, it takes ti lopa. So that's the Vartik word says. Savyanam bhamatre ti lopa. So any avyayam, when it gets the bhasanya, it takes ti lopa.
That means it is an enhancement to the existing Vartikam.
No. What this actually here is Kalpesh is that this sutram is nast, and I think it comes under the sutram nastadhite. See, nastadhite,
yes.
So we can say, for example, give me 1 second, give you some good examples. Let's say, it says paunaf punyam, right? Now paunaf punyam. Now, if you have the avyam punar, there's no sutram for making a ti lopa of punar, right? So how do you get the word like pavanaf punyam? Means again and again. The property of saying again repeatedness. So hold on for 1 second. Let me 1 second. So how do you get? So if you look at the example that he gives, so example he gives is that says let's take a better example. You can let's see. I'll give you some good example here. Ti lopaha bhamate ti lopaha. So it says that punar bhavaha paunaf punikaha. So paunaf punikaha. Now if you have the Prajapatikam punar, there's no sutram for getting the ti lopa of punar. So that's why he uses Vartikam saying avyayana bhamatre ti lopaha. So you add the ika. This is this pratyaya thang you add get ika. So we need this Vartikam in other situation. This Vartikam in other situation. So there we have to get this one. Otherwise normally we don't need it. So punaha sayam pratikaha. So sayam and pratar. Sayam, so which occurs in morning and evening, sayam pratikaha. So pratar and punar, there's no way to get the ti lopaha without this Vartikam. So that's what the Vartikam. I understand the Vartikam was required, So but how do you? Let's say you have like akasmat. You can say idam akasmikam. So akasmikam means that something which occurs, all of a sudden. Something which occurs. So if you have akasmat plus ika, now we need to get the ti lopa for akasmat. We cannot get akasmat ti lopa by any other sutra, by any sutra. So that's why Kalpesh needs Vartikam. Is where you cannot use a sutram for ti lopa. Then we need the Vartikam. I understand that, but here we can just get the akar lopa by yasya ticha. So I don't understand why this one they gone to the ti, and we don't need to make. Akar lopa, ti lopa used to be the same thing to me because, diva, you take the akar out of it, that's ti lopa for diva. That's what this says, Kalpesh. So words like, paunaf punikaha and, this akasmika, so these will require the Vartikam. But we don't. Anyway, so we'll keep this one as a pending question. This is a minor question because both of these will work. But I'm saying it seems to me both of them will work. But why should we require the Vartikam when we can use the Sutram Yasyadicha? That I don't know. Because the thing to check here is that Yasyadicha will work. I think it will work because Ivarnantasya Avarnantasya Angasya Bhasanyakasya Lopavoti tadite ikare cha pare. So we have that. Okay, so anyway, so this question, at least one question we looked like we answered is that yes, this is the problem. Our ato was the correct one to use, and this book confirms that. So we got that. Okay, let's continue with today's class. So last time we were talking about this. Let's see. Okay, we introduced the pratyaya ghai in the prior class, which was by the sutram, these two rules, which says bhave, and then we also saw the sutram briefly, which is akritija karake sanyayam. I think in the last class I mentioned that this pratyas, ghai, etc. The why ghai, etc. Let's refresh our memory. They start from here, which is the 3318, this adhikara of bhave, and akritricha karake sanyayam. It goes through the striyam ting adhikara. So for that adhikara also these two sutras follow. So the adhikara of 3318, 3319 goes all the way up to this one, 33112 at the end of striyam adhikara, striyam tin adhikara. So now that time we were discussing in the last class that we looked at the sutram over here, and it said that vritti says siddhavasthapanne dhatvarte vachye dhatorghai. So this we talked about siddhavastha and sadhyavastha. So when basically siddhavastha is a completed action, it becomes an act, the completed act. At that time, it starts behaving like a dravyam, it's behaving like a substantive, like a noun. So that time we get this pratyaya ghai. So the act of whatever that dhatu might be. So pakaha is the act of cooking. So yagaha is the act of sacrificing, yaj, and so on. Now we also said that when we have the siddhavastha, then you complete the sentence, we need some other verb to complete that. So pakaha pravartate, pako nashyati, etc. If you have the sadhyavastha, we don't need anything else. We can just say devadattaha pachati, devadatto yajati, etc. And then we also saw this is from the last class, just refreshing. Then we saw the linganushasana ghayyabantaha in the pullinga adhikara, that words ending in the pratyaya ghai and up, they are in the masculine. So actually that only applies in the sense of bhave. Doesn't apply all the time. If it's by 3319, it doesn't have to be masculine all the time. By 3318 bhave, abstract nouns, they have to be masculine all the time. So if they're ending in ghai or up. So that's where we were last time. Okay, now let's take some examples. In the book, we are on page number at the bottom of page number 143. So book has given 2-3 examples here. First of all, he says Anubandha Gha orders the change of the final chakara or jakara respectively to kakara or gakara. That's 7352. Chajoho ku ginyatoho. Anubandha nya orders vriddhi achonyati, which of course we studied already in our daily examples. We have seen that achonyati. We have seen achonyati. Let me see if it's here. Should be here. Achonyati, 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 and then atopadhayaha, atopadhayaha. So achonyati, atopadhayaha. We have had these already. Let's see. Achonyati, 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 achonyati. Ajantangasya vriddhi niti chapare. So if you have chavarga pancham as an it or tavarga pancham as an it, then the ajantasyangasya vriddhi achaha. Because normally what do we have when Panini says do guna, do vriddhi, then we have iko guna vriddhi. So only an ik would normally take guna or vriddhi, ika guna vriddhi. But in this sutram 72115, Panini specifically says achonyati. So obviously any ending ach of an angam takes vriddhi alontyasya when the pratyaya following has a chavarga panchama or tavarga panchama as an it. So ikoguna vriddhi would normally apply the paribhasha, which is Pani says achaha. Then any ach at the end of an angam takes vriddhi followed by pratyaya, which is chavarga panchama it or tavarga panchama it. Then atopadhayaha is 72116. It says that the upadha. So Alontyat purva upadha. So upadha is the penultimate letter. That will also take vriddhi under the same condition. If it's an akara, the akara as an upadha takes vriddhi if it's preceded by the if the angam is followed by a pratyaya which is tavarga panchama, chavarga panchama as an it, then the upadha akara takes vriddhi. And there's nothing new in this. And as I was telling you, is that all the sanya sutrani are very important. What is upadha? What is this? What is that? Because then they play. Because Alontyat puro upadha is 1165. So that's here. Just put that in the book over here. There's nothing new for us. And then this gakara as an it. We have a sutram over here in the document, which is let's see. Where put that? Okay, should be down here. Chajoho ku ghinyatoho. Chajoho ku here it is. Chajoho ku ghinyatoho. So if the chakara or jakara is in the angasya dikara, so chakarantasya jakarantasya angasya kavargadesha bhavati giti pare athva nyati pare. The pratyaya following is a git, which is what we have right now. The pratyaya ghai is a git, athva the pratyaya nyat. This nyat is one of those this kritya pratyaya. Anyway, that's not the topic right now. So pratyaya is a git. Yes, so chajoho kutvam syat giti nyati chapare. So by sthanyantaratamaha, we get the chakarasya sthane kakaraha, jakarasya sthane gakara. So that's 7352. One more time. If you have an angam ending in a chakara or jakaraha, that angam takes the kavargadesha alontyasya. But if the pratyaya following is a git, or the pratyaya is this particular pratyaya nyat. Nyat comes in this section. It's not today's topic, but I'll just show it to you. It comes in the section of krityaha, which is starting from here. So sutram is ruhalor nyat, ruhalor nyat, ruhalor nyat, ruhalor nyat, ruhalor nyat, ruhalor. Here it is, ruhalor nyat. That's the nyat. Okay, so let's look at these examples from the book and examples over here. Okay, so we have pachanam pakaha. So the act of cooking, the dupachash pake means to cook. So anubandha lopaha by adir ni to davaha. This do as samudaya gets the it, and of course halantyam upadesha janunasika it, tasya lopaha. And then we get bhave, sutram bhave. It's a bit confusing because in the commentary or something in the bhashya it just might say bhave. But anuvritti of ghai is coming into bhave. Don't forget that. So the sutram that you will see is only bhave. That's 3.3.18. Anuvritti of that ghai is coming from the 3.3.16. Pada ruja visha sprusho ghai. That's from there. So sutram is still only bhave with anuvritti of ghai coming down there. So we get this is pratyaya ghai. And then anubandha lopaha. Dashakvatadjite halantyam akaraha vishishyate, and then chajoho kuginyatoho, because this chakarantamangam is there. We have the git pratyaya falling, so chakarasya sthani kakara desha sthanantara tamaha, and then atopadhayaha angam has akara as upadha, takes vriddhi of atopadhaya, pratyaya falling has the chavarga panchama as in it. So we get upadhaya ato vriddhi syat niti cha pratyaya pare. So paka. There's nothing special in the prakriya, really straightforward. I mean, yes, okay, we have this one sutram, chajoho kuginyatoho. Otherwise, prakriya is straightforward. The difficult thing is to understand exactly the meaning in which the pratyaya is coming. So this is bhave, the abstract noun, expressing the meaning of the verb, means the act of that verb, action of that. So it is the act of cooking is pakaha. Now, for example, if it's pakaha, in fact, if you just go to apte for a second, just go to apte. Yes, sir.
So that gin nyatoho, should that be nakara? What prevents stunashtu from happening?
Let's see, what could it be? Is there? Let's go to Shunashtuhu. First of all, let's go to our Ashtadhyay, see if I made a typo. Just look at that. In fact, let me check it. I think it is correct. 7352. 7352. No, you're right. Ghinyatoho. There's a typo here. Yes. Yes. You're right. Good question. Good calculation in the class. So, Ghinyatoho, because by the Shtunashtuho. Yes. Thank you. Ghinyatoho. I was thinking, Vispashtartham, to keep it clear, I didn't do the Sandhi, but no, that's fine. You're right. Ghinyatoho. Thank you. So, Git plus Nyat. So, then, first of all, you're going to get the, Yerono Nasike no Nasiko va. So, first of all, you're going to get the Nakara, the takara will become a takara. Okay, let's go to Ashta there for a second. So we git plus nyat is what we have, and then I think the first thing to come should be this one. Should be Jalam Jashwante, right, Kalpesh? Jalam Jashwante by 8 to 30.
Jalam Jashwante, Yeronunasik Anunasiko va.
No. I think first will come. Then let's look at the numbers, because Jalam Jashwante is 8-2, so that will become into gid into a dakaraha. So Jalam Jashwante. But then I think first will come Shtunashtu, shouldn't it? Because that's 8441.
What about Yeronunasik?
I think it's 45.
Okay.
It's 45. So first will come the Shtunashtuhu, become gid, and then it'll become Yeronunasiko become ginyatoho. So ginyatoho. So this is a sandhi between the git and nyat, and so here we first get the let's put the numbers in bracket over here. We just first get Jalam Jashwante. So Kalpesh is right. Jalam Jashwante we get by 8239. That git will become gid dakara tritiya varnaha.
Surprisingly, by me in book 3, page number 24. He follows the other sequence. Jalam Jashwante, Yeronunasik Nasikova, and then Shtunashtu.
Let me just check it out one second. Huh? We are in book 3.
By me, book 3, page 24.
Okay. Book 3, page 24. Normally in Bhaimi there are very few errors, so I'm always scared to. When I was learning with my teacher, we used to always joke. Never make fun of Bhaimi, because after we when you go over there, Amutra, when we pass away, he'll be waiting for us, Shastriji, to ring our ears. And now my teacher actually has passed away. So now they'll be both waiting for me to set me right. So Shastriji and my teacher. So, page 23, is it? Okay.
Page 24.
24, I'm sorry.
There's a footnote number 1.
So git nyatoho, Jalam Jashwante, correct? Takar just dakar. Oh, then he takes Yeronunasiko va, and then Shtunashtuhu. Let's just check the numbers. Yeronunasiko va. That is 45, Kalpesh? 45.
Yes.
Shtunashtu is 41. Okay. Today is a day of questions. So we have another question now. I'm really hesitant to say Bhaimi has an error, because I have made a mistake before and I've paid for a mistake. But okay, I'll put a question mark here. Is that why? So I'll put in my book another. How we used to have a brown book. I still have that book. I have a book of questions, unanswered questions. So one day I should publish that book, so which I have not found the answers. I have pages of this book. So I'll put this one in there also now. So we got 2 today. Today we got 2 of them. So okay. So why is 8445 applying before 8441? Chintaniyam. That is to be thought about. I don't, because normally Purvatra Siddham. So we should take the Puravarti Sutram first. It won't make any difference. It's not a big deal. But looks to me Shtunashtu should apply before Yeronunasiko or Nasiko va. But look at what Shastriji has given. He has given Yeronunasiko nakaraha. Tat paschat nakaraha. That I don't know. I don't know why that is. So okay, I'll put a question mark here also. So 8441 looks to me followed by 8445, and then okay, I'll put a question mark here. Okay, so yeah, Ghinyatoho, but correct, good Sandhi, thank you, Kalpesh. So it's Giti Niti Nyati Chapare, Nyati Chapare. So right now we do have the Git Pratyaya, which is Ghain. So we got the and I think our Kalpesh, our online thing is an error, right? We can correct that maybe.
Yes, online thing is an error.
So this one is an error. Okay, so 73, this one is an error. Yeah, okay. I was thinking Vispashtartham to make it clear. But yeah, we don't need to do that. We can keep the sandhi. Because sometimes sutram sandhi will not be done to keep it clear, sometimes sandhi will not be done. But this may not be the case of that. Okay, so we got the word pakaha by this atopadhaya straightforward sutram, which I have used many times before. And now the next thing is that similarly we get bhojanam bhogaha, enjoyment, act of enjoying bhogaha. Now in both these cases, if you had a different meaning, like pachyate iti pakaha, that thing which is cooked, like I say odanam, supam, whatever it might be. By the way, supa is a word in Sanskritam. I don't know if you know that. Supa, the English word soup, is actually a Sanskrita shabdaha. It's supa. So anyway, that which is cooked, if we take it like that, then it will not be bhave anymore. So supaha, it will not be bhave. It will be karmani ghai. That's what I'm trying to point to you, is that if you take a in other karaka, in any of the karaka except kartari, and we form a sanyayam, it has to be a noun, then it will not be, the form will be the same. The form will be the same, pakaha. So pakaha means the act of cooking, but pakaha can also be, the items which are cooked. Items, so we can say ayam pakaha. So this is what has been cooked. Then it is not the act of cooking. So pakaha. Same thing bhogaha, right? So bhogaha is the something which is enjoyed. So that which is enjoyed is bhogaha. But that is not bhave anymore. That is karmani in that case. So anyway, so be careful, is that this paka derives the form paka and bhoga. It does not say whether we are using that in the sense of 3318 or 3319. So from the context we have to decide which one it is. The one thing I would like to mention again is that 3319 requires sanyayam. Should be a noun form, not an adjective form, but a noun form, sanyayam. So paka should be like that. So that paka will not then qualify something else. It will be a noun in its own right. It will be sanyayam. So let's go on. We see, in fact, the examples in the book which he has given are going to be like that. So he's given the form. So this is bhajyate iti bhagaha. So bhaga is anshaha, is a share, is a part of something. That is not the act of dividing. It is that which is divided out, which is separated out, which is apportioned. So that is in karmani. So that is by 3319, not 3318. So what I'm saying is that the form is the same. It says, bhaga, bhagaha, or pakaha, pakaha, yagaha, yagaha, and so on. So, but we have to see from the context whether it's bhave ghai atva akriti chakarake sanyayam. Okay, let's continue. So for now I'm putting this just right now. We are only looking at one sutram, which is the bhave. That's the one we're looking at right now, which is bhave. So right now the vigraha vakyam will be just like this. It'll be pachanam pakaha. It'll be bhujanam bhogaha dhatu bhuj, and then bhuja palana bhyavaharayoho. Mostly it's in abhyavahararthe, which means to protect or to consume. I think last time also I mentioned the sutram, by the way, which you've studied in the daily examples, is bhujo navane. It doesn't affect us right now. Bhujo navane says that bhuj, when it's used in any other sense except avane, except protecting, it should take atmanepadam only. So in Gita we have that bhungte, and bhunjate te tvagam papaha, and so on. Bhungshva rajyam samruddham. Good time to inaugurate Gita. So that's that dhatu bhuj. It has two meanings: to protect and also to experience, to enjoy, to eat. So this is the one now. And then yojanam yogaha, yuj is to connect, to join, act of joining. So these are all bhave ghai. Then dahanam dahaha, so burning, act of burning. So or burn, act of burning. So it's bhave ghai. Now let's skip this for time being. Let's go down for 1 second and look at. I will come back to this. This is something extra which is not in the book. I want to take just one or two sutta bits because in the book he has given very short. He has covered his entire section, from 3318 all the way to 33, 94 up to Striyam Thin. There are about, as you can see, about 70 odd rules, and he's given only these two only he has given in the book. So I want to take at least 2-3 more in the class to give you some. We're coming to the end of the book now. We only have a few weeks left of this class. So I want to give you at least some flavor of what's in between here. So we'll come back to that. But so let's skip down to these examples in the book, and let's look at the next sutram, which is akartaricha karake sanyayam. So in any other karaka, it cannot be the doer of the action. It can be that which gets done, by which it gets done, in which it gets done, whatever it might be. It has to be sanyayam, but it has to create a noun form. So it has to have an extended meaning as a noun, not an adjective. So katrubhinne karake ghai syat. So this is a sutram which is very important. So because you'll often see these forms like bhagaha, pakaha, bhogaha, aharaha. But you'll see if it's only an abstract noun, how do I get the meaning of ahara as diet? You cannot get the meaning of ahara as diet if you don't allow for this, if you don't remember the sutram. You just say ahara, it is the action of taking in. No, ahara is something which is eaten, which is taken in. That which is eaten, that is ahara. So actually in this case it is aharanti tasmad rasam ityaharaha. So that from which you take nutrients, you extract the essence of it. That from which the essence is extracted, or the rasam, this nutrients or the extracting the juice. Juice means the essence of that is extracted from it is ahara. So that from which aharanti, so janaha aharanti, that from which people or we, I shouldn't say we, should say people, that from which people extract the juice or the sap or the essence or the nutrients from that is called ahara. I mean, derivation is the same, because only thing ring harane, anything we use 3319, but after that, this is of course ahru, so we're doing a samasa kugati paradeha, we're getting a gati samasaha, and then so ahru is to intake, so that which is taken in, so that from which the nutrients or the juice is taken in, so or that from which people take in the juice or the essence, aharanti, so that from which people take in this essence of it. So ahru plus, so I'm saying these steps will be the same, whether it's going to be bhave or it's going to be akartaji kareke sanyayam. That's the important point. So ahru anubandha lopaha lashyakwatadite halantyam, and then we get acho niti vriddhi uranraparaha, we get aharaha. But this aharaha is not bhave. It is not bhave. It is in the sense of the apadana karake. Apadana karake means to take from that. One more time, 3319 says that this pratyaghi, and later on, as I said, 331819 go all the way through, they run through the adhikara of Striyam Tin. So all of these pratyas can be used also not only to form abstract nouns, but also in the sense of any other karaka. It cannot be the doer, but in a noun form. So we get aharanti tasma rasamityaharaha, so ri plus harane, anubandha lopaha, then ghai, and we get the acho niti urandaparaha. And then in the book we have examples, bhaja sevayam. So bhajyate also is to divide, is to apportion. So bhajyate iti bhagaha, karmani ghai. So this is again by 3319. By 3319 karmani ghai. So which is that which is divided out, which is apportioned out. So it's a part or a portion or a share. Part, portion, or says bhagaha. So this is by 3319. That's the important thing, 3319. And similarly, the other example other example in the book, which is that dulabhash praptau, which is labhyate iti labha, an acquisition, that which is acquired is labha. It's not the act of acquiring, but it is that which is acquired is labhyate iti labha, acquisition. So if you see a noun form which is not that abstract noun, then think of 3319. Think of 3319. Pratyagha is being used. So Shivu Tantu Santane is to stitch. Shivu Tantu Santane is to stitch. And then Prasivyate iti prasevaha. So that which is stitched all around, Prasivyate is said. It's a bag. That which is stitched. That which is stitched. So it's not the act of stitching, but Prasivyate iti prasevaha. It's a bag. So these are in the Karmani Ghai examples. We saw the example of the Apadane Ghai. We saw this Aharanti Tasmat. So it can be any Karaka except Kartari. Okay, this is just a brief, because in the book is given very short. So I'm sorry. I'd like to spend more time on this, but there are many good examples here. But we're going to give you a flavor. So anyway, back to the book. We are here. We got this one. Bhajyate iti bhagaha, labhyate iti labhaha, and So yujyate iti yogaha. How about of that yogaha? So now yujyate yogaha could be yes.
Is that dirgha because of halicha? Prasivyate?
Yes. Correct. This over here, correct. Sutram like div is this divyati. So what Kalpesh is pointing out is that here we have the from prasivyate, right? So of course dhatva shassaha we got that, but then we have this. This is sarvadhatuke yak. Sarvadhat is karmani. Prasivyate. So pratyay yak has come, and then because we have vakaranta dhatu. So vakaranta dhatu, so we get the upada dirgha by the Halicha Sutra. I think this is also Anuji's favorite. Vorupadaha dirgha, and then Halicha. So that Sutram. Halicha is being used. So what we have is Halicha. So a vakaranta dhatu, which is followed by vakaranta rephanta dhatu, followed by hal. Then the upadha takes dirgha deshaha. So here we have, so what we have used is we have used 3167 yak pratyaha, and then after that we have used halicha for the upadha dirgha by halicha. Okay, now how about yogaha? Yogaha could be joining, but maybe could that by which the mind is joined. Yeah, thank you, Kalpesh, I got it. Prasivyate. Let me just quickly check Amar Koshaha. Yogaha. So yogaha doesn't have to be just the act. It could be just the act of joining. We don't know in which meaning. It depends on the context. In what context yoga is used. So let's see what is if I have yoga over here. In Amar Kosha is one of the best places to find the answers to this. So yogaha. We may have given only one meaning, possibly 422. Because he's going to give the meaning in which it is quoted here, but let's see, because it may be in a karaka. So yogaha. No, he says yojanam. Okay, fine. So he says act of joining. So yojanam iti yogaha yujir kavacham payaha. Okay. So he says karma, but I think you could also so yujyate aneniti yogaha. That by which something is joined could that could be like upayaha. So upayaha is a device, right? So that by which you get something done, upayaha. So but here he says bhave ghai yojanam iti yoga. Okay, but anyway, the point is that depending on the context, you see what kind of noun it is referring to just the bhava, just the action of the verb, or is it referring to a noun which could be any other karaka except kartari. So here we have now what I'd like to do is that is the point of 3319. Now I'll give you a short tour of some other rules in this section. And first one, let's look at this. So the section we are in here is this one, starting from 33 3, 3, 18, and going all the way up to this 3 tin. So let's take, 2 or 3 rules which are not in the book, given his book, but let's see. Let's take this one here, which is 3, 3, 24. Just an example. Shri ni bhuvonupasarge. Shri ni bhuvonupasarge. So that is 3, 3, 24. Says that Shri ni bhu ityetebhya dhatubhyo anupasargebhyo ghai pratyabhavati. Ajapor Take example like a word like bhavaha. Bhava itself, the word bhavaha, right? So the act of being, it's the act of being bhavaha. Now that bhavaha, what would happen is that we're going to see a little bit below. Apavada for ghai, there are 2 main apavadas for ghai, and they are down here, which is erach and rudo rap. So erach, if a dhatu is in the e varnaha, instead of getting the pratyaya ghai, we get the pratyaya acha. And rudo rap is if a dhatu ending in the dirgha rukaraha or in the uvarnaha, then instead of getting ghai, we get the apratyaya. We take a look at the dhatu bhu, it ends in the uvarnaha. So we should be getting rudo rap. So normally it should be aprapyate. Ukarant uvarnantoyam dhatuhu tasmad Ghayopavadha aprapyate. So we get the pratyaya up. But this Sutram Parani specifically says that for these 3 dhatus, for Shri and Ni, should have had the erach, because they were ivarnat. So ivarnanta dhatu, ivarnanta dhatu. So we had erach should have come. And for in the case of dhatu bhu, so we should have had rudo rap. So in the case of Shri and Ni, erach should have come, and dhatu bhu rudo rap should have come. But this sutra specifically says that with these 3 dhatus, the ghai will come, but with the condition of anupasarge. So the upasarga should not be the upapadam. Then we can get anupasarga is saptami ekavacham. Tatrupadam saptamistham. Don't forget the adhikar tatrupadam saptamistham. Goes from 3192 all the way down. So this sutra specifically says this is the Vishesha Vidhanam. These 3 dhatus, which these 2 should have taken the ach pratyaya by erach, they should have taken the ap pratyaya by rudorap. Instead, they all take the pratyaya ghai on the condition that anupasargebhyaha. So apavada for ach and this one. So I'll put this number here, which is 3, 356, 57. 3, 356, 57. 3, 356, 57. That is we're going to see in a second these 2. Just put the apavada for these 2. 3, 356, 57. Okay. So bhu sattayam, and the prakriya is straightforward, the pratyaya ghai. So this is bhave. So this is in the sense of bhave to form the word bhavaha. So we don't need these. I'm sorry, I don't need these. Don't need these. We don't need this. This is the copy paste. So ghai pratyaya, of course, lashakvatadite halantyam in acho niti adantasyangasya vriddhir niti cha pare becomes bhau adeshaha, and then we get echo yavayavaha. By the way, remember the sutram Adech Upadesha Sithi 6145. The sutram says that if you have a agent dhatu, it takes the akara adesha alontyasya. But that's only upadeshe. This dhatu bhu became bhau, that is, it's the agent dhatu now, ending in aukara, which is an h. That was not upadeshe. In the dhatu part, dhatu was bhu only, it was not upadeshe. So upadeshe is ukaranto upadeshe. So vriddhivashat aukarantaha. Tasmat adadesha na bhavati. Doesn't take. So 6145 does not apply here, because this dhatu in upadesha was ukaranta. It became ajantaha only after doing vriddhi. So it doesn't apply here. So anyway, so bhavaha by echoyavaya bhavaha. So we get the word bhavaha. Then he says anupasargeti kim prabhavaha. Prabhava means to prabhu is to origin, to arise, to spring up. So prabhava means origin or springing up. Prabhavaha. So in this case, what happened was, instead of getting the pratyaya ghai, we got the pratyaya rudor up, the pratyaya up. So by halantyam, the pakara setsanya tasya lopaha. Then instead of getting achonyiti, we got sarvadhataka ardhadhataka yoho gunadesha. We get the form bhavaha. But that was because we had the upasarga pra there, prabhavaha. So one more time, that this sutram 3, this is all not in the book. I'm just giving you some examples. So 3.3.24, this is an important section from 3.3.18 to 3.3.93. And the book has given only one sutra, basically one or two sutras, 3.3.18.19. So 3.3.24 specifically says these siddhasus will take the pratyaya ghai, but only anupasarge. But here we have upasarga pra, we got from prabhavaha, pratyaya up came, instead of vruddhi we got the gunadesha. Then he says, katham, just to give you some more interesting insight here. Katham prabhavo rajnyaha. Sorry, there's a typo here. Rajnyaha. Prabhavaha rajnyaha. The glory of the king. Now, how we get the word prabhavaha now? We just got saying that anupasarge ghai. Atra, so it is upasargaha pratiyate. So it looks like upasarga here. So upasargaha pratiyate. Katham ghai vidhiyate. Upasarge api. Atra samadham evam vartate. This is the samadhanam. Prakrushto bhavaha iti pradi samasa bhavishyati. The samadhanam here is that pra, it's pradi, of course. It is not upasarga here. Upasarga kriya yoge. Vidyamana kriya should be there. This upasarga. So this pra, in this case pra bhu, back here, prabhavaha, that pra was qualifying bhu. It was affecting the meaning of bhu. So bhu is to be, prabhu is to kind of to arise, to to be to take birth, prabhavaha. Am sarvasya prabho comes in Gita. Am sarvasya prabho mattasaram pravartate. From me everything comes up. Iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha machitta madgata prana bodhayanta. Comes in Gita chapter 10. Am sarvasya, I am the origin of all. Am sarvasya prabho mattasaram pravartate. From me everything proceeds. Am sarvasya prabho, here it is prabhavaha, comes in Gita. So Gita 10.7. So that was the pra, which is operating directly on the dhatu bhu, there's nothing in between. So that has the upasarga kriya yoge. Upasarga kriya yoge. So now that is what we had there. But in prabhavaha, what's happening is that this is first we form the noun bhavaha. And then we make a pradi samasa with prakrishto bhava iti prabhava. So there is something implied in between here. So pra is operating on the dhatu krish, not on the dhatu bhu. Prakrishto bhavaha. So pra does not get the upasarga sanya because the dhatu krish is not there. So pra is connecting with an implied dhatu in between there. Upasarga kriya yoga, sakshat kriya yoga, it has to be there. It is not there right now. So we can explain, this is just to give you some ideas as to how we can use this prakaranam to justify the forms in usage. How can there be some complications and how we can work around them. As far as the book is concerned, we are done with this page. But katham prabhava rajnyaha prakrishta bhava iti pradi samasa bhavishyati. This pra does not have upasarga sanya because it's operating on dhatu krish, not on the dhatu bhu. So this is a paradi samasa, as Antoine Book very nicely said, when there's a dhatu implied in between. Let's say pracharyaha, pragataha acharyaha, pracharyaha, nissamshayaha. So nirgataha samshayat, nissamshayaha, and so on. So something implied in between. So these paradis, when they are not connecting with the dhatu which is present there, but which is connecting with an implied dhatu in between there, they get the. So this is just a paradi. It doesn't have upasarga sanya. So that's how you can justify the form prabhavaha. So first we form the noun bhavaha, which we did over here, and then we make a paradi samasa to get prabhavaha. So this sutram can apply. 324 does apply. Still anupasarge, because pro iti etasya upasarga sanya nasti atra. Okay. Then as I talked to you, we have this. Apavadaha erach, simple sutram. It says that ivarnantad ach. In the same two meanings of 3.3.18.90, which we have ivarnanta dhatu, rasvayikara, dirghayikaranta dhatu va, then ach patyavati. So ghai apavadaha. Ganyapavadaha. So chayaha is chayanam, is collecting. Chi is to piling up, to collect, to pile up. So chayanam is collecting. So chi, chayane, I mean nothing really special. The prakriya is straightforward. Halantyam is sanya, nyakaras is sanya tasya lopaha. Then we get erach, apavada for ghani. Because normally ghani should have been used, but because of erach is ivarnanta dhatu, we get erach 3356. Then again in the ach, halantyam tasya. This is only for Vedika swara, swara prakriyartham. This for a swaras doesn't affect us. So we get erach, I'm sorry, chakaras is sanya tasya lopaha. Then sarvadhataka ardhadhatukayoho and echoyavaya bhachayaha. So one more time, if you have ivarnanta dhatu, instead of taking pratyaya ghai, takes the pratyaya acha. And the other thing is that similarly jayaha, G is jaye, so jaya is victory. So G doesn't become jaya, it becomes jaya as victory. So ivarnanta dhatu pratyaya ach instead of apavada for ghai. That's 3356. So this 3356 and 3357 are important apavadas for ghai. And 3357, the pratyaya up in fact continues below. For why? So not only the rukaranta dhatu and uvarnanta dhatu, but a bunch of others also. Anyabhyopi. Up vidhyate. So, I mean, erach only is a single sutram. That's only one single sutram. But the anuvritti of up goes for 30 rows below that. So, this erach is single sutram, but anuvritti of root or up, this up iti anuvartate. This up to this nigho nimittam. So that up to that sutram, that up to 87. Nigho nimittam, up to that sutram. So up is comes in many different conditions, but the main sutram is rud or up. So ru varnantad uvarnantach up. So karaha karanam. So karana is karanam. Atva kiryate aneti karaha. How about that? The example. So that this is a hand, that by which you scatter or spread something around. So kiryate anena iti karaha. Kiryate anena iti karaha. So that is which is can be used as a hand. Which so or a karaha can also mean tax. That which is scattered around. I think could be another meaning. So the tax is everybody is taxed, right? We know that. So we can try different karakas. So if you have a noun like karaha, let's see what apte says, brother. Let's go to apte first. Sometimes apte gives the etymology. So anyway, the lesson is that this dhatu kru vikshep is a rukaranta dhatu. Apavada for ghai comes in the pratyaya up. So instead of getting the vridhya desha, of course in ach and up we don't have the chavarga panchama as a nit, so we get just the guna desha, no vridhya. So that's how we can tell it is ach up or is it ghai. We can tell that. So okay, let's see what we get. Karaha, right? Okay, karaha. Oh, kiryate aneneti. So he has put that karaha. Aneneti karaha. I think it can also mean a tax. I think is a hand, a ray of light. Okay, also ray of light, by the way, a ray of light. So rays of sun, kiranam, kiranam, and then trunk a tax or a toll tribute. So that also means so karaha can mean a ray, can also mean it can mean a tax. So it can mean in different these meanings. But for all those noun meanings, we have to look at use 3319. Agarate chakarake sanyayam. Let's see what's happening here. Yes, Kirana, I'm sorry. Kirana has a ray of light. Let's see what he gives for yoga. Let's try. Let's see what he gives for apte gives for yoga. Whether he gives 3319 or 3318. 3319 or 3318. Oh, I'm sorry. Should put the visarga there. Yoga. So he says bhav adau ghai. So he gives both. So bhavadi. So it doesn't have to be bhave. It can be in other karakas also, just trying to be bhave. It can be other karakas also, yoga. Actually, if you give me 1 second, let me look at it. So apte is given both bhava and is given. So bhava ado in sense of bhave athva akritachakarika sanyayam. Let's see in Shabdakalpadrumaha. Let's see what he gives for yoga. So now we can check all these books, understand what they are saying. So yogaha, let's see what karaka he has given. Yogaha. Of course, it depends on the context clearly. You see, if it's just the act of joining, or that by which you join. So let's see. Yogaha. This is bhavado yatha yatham gai. As appropriate. So it may be bhava, it may not be, it may be other karakas. So yatha yatham gai. So as appropriate, you use the karaka as appropriate. Okay, fine. Anyway, the point is that it doesn't have to be bhave. That is, let me see one more book. Also, another good book is Halayudha Kosha, Halayudha. Just like Amar Kosha, it's a different book. So it will not give all the Shabdakalpadruma gives almost all words, while the Halayudha will not give all the words. Let's see what he gives. He may not have the word yoga in here, but if he has, let's see what he gives. Yogaha. No, he has not given yoga. Okay, alright. So anyway, bhavada ghai and kutvam. So rudo rap is apavada is 3357. Said the up pratyaya anuvritti goes all the way down to 3387. So this is a very important apavada for ghai is the up pratyaya. So era chose one, ivarnanta dhatoho, and then rudo rap is rukaranta atva uvarnanta dhatoho. Up to 3387. Now, so otherwise, kru vikshepe, nikshepe, ityapi. So rudor up, and then anubandha lopa halantyam dasya lopaha sarvadhatu kartaka yoho, and then uranda paraha karaha. So that by which something is scattered, it can be in hand. Then one more thing is that we can take some of the quick examples. Stavaha stavanam, atva stuyate aneniti stavaha stotram. So stavaha can be the act of praising, or that by which can be a stotram. That by which, by means of which you praise the Lord, can be stotram. So otherwise prakriya is the same. Shtui stutau dhatva deshasaha and nimittapaye naimittikasyaapyapayaha. So takarasya sthane takara desha, so stu plus up, and then 3357. And after that, anubandha lopaha, sarva dhatukarthaka yoho, echo yava yava. I mean, these all steps are straightforward. Just guna adeshaha and echo yava yava. That's all. But the important thing is that it can mean stuyate anenitistavaha. Stotram. How about this one? Lui chedane lavaha. Lavanam atva luyate chidyate samudaditi lavaha. So lavaha is a small part. Lavaha. Lava is a tiny portion. Small alpa unshaha. So says so lavaha can be in the act of cutting, or it can also be samudayat chidyate iti lavaha. These are all just examples. I'm giving you some examples about how we use 3319, which is really the most important point in all of this, is how to use 3319. Of course, 3356, 57 apavadas for ghai, that is fine, but in which meaning they are coming, that's important. So, I mean, ghai, all apavadas come in different meanings. So, chidyate samudayad iti lavaha. So, that which is separated from a group, lavaha alpa unshaha, is a small part which gets chipped off. So, suluyate chidyate samudayad iti. This is a typo, I'm sorry. So, it should be chedane. Okay. Then one more. How about this one? Nustutau pranuyate prakarshena stuyate anena iti pranavaha. How about that one? Onkaraha. So that by which you praise the Lord, atva, the param tattvam, supreme reality, whatever you call it. So that by which prakarshena stuyate anena pranavaha. Pranavaha. So nuyate. So pranuyate aniti pranavaha. So it is that by which you intensely or greatly praise is pranava, onkaraha. So onkara, interesting meaning, isn't it? Is that by which it is. In fact, how about the word navaha itself? Something which is new navaha. So that which is praised is new. Navaha. So nuyate iti navaha. So that is which is praised is new. So now in fact we can check apte there also. Let me see what apte gives. In fact, I think okay, let's see what apte gives first for navaha. Navam. Nava is an adjective. Okay, navaha. I think it should be nuyate iti navaha. That which is praised is new. He doesn't give an okay, nuyate, because new, fresh, young. He doesn't say praise. Okay. Yeah, see, navaha is also praise. See, that's the second meaning. That is bhave. That is bhave. So nu is to stutau. So nu is praise. But this freshness, new, is not there. Let me see if by chance our kosha. I think it should be correct, because something which is new gets praised. So let's see. In fact, I want to make one more point here. Okay, navaha. Let's see, 375.77. Before we close this topic, let me give you all the nitty-gritties of it. Okay, navaha. Nuyate iti navaha. Yes. Nuyate iti navaha, we got that. But now comes an interesting point. Okay, so nuyate iti navaha. Okay, but now interesting point is that we just said that this should be a noun form, not an adjective form. In a word like, labha, bhagaha, aharaha, pranavaha, so stavaha in the sense of stotram. All of these, they are nouns. But now we have a situation where nava, we just said nuyate. So this is akartachakarike sanyaya. In fact, Amar Kosha, Bhanuji Dikshitaha, Bhanuji says nuyate. Okay, so up, rud or up he has used. I mean, that is fine, which is what I thought also. So that is fine. I mean, the prakriya is straightforward. You just do the guna adesha, ichaya vayavaha, navaha. But now the fundamental question comes is that how come this is being used in adjectival form? Because we were harping on this statement back here. We were just saying back here that it has to be sanyaya. See, ahara is not anything which is taken in. Ahara specifically means diet. So that is the sanyaya.
Saviji, what if it is the words that praise?
I'm sorry?
What if it is the words that praise?
So it is stuyate, that is the point I'm trying to making is that, see here, something is being, say navaha, let's just take navaha, right? So like navam shastram idam. This is a new science, So now that shastram is the noun really. And yes, being praised, okay, so we got nava, nuyate iti navam, we got that. But that nava is not a noun. It is qualifying shastram. So kvachid asanyayam api bhavati. This sometimes, in fact, I just opened up a can of worms over here. Today is a day of complications. So here, even though a sanyayam, in fact, let me see, maybe I can show this, that sometimes it may not be sanyayam. It may not be sanyayam. So as Kalpesh says, it's qualifying something. So it is getting praised. That's why it is new, is getting praised. That is fine. But it is not, so let me see, does he say over here anywhere? Sanya vibhicharatha, here it is. Okay, good. Akartikarake cha sanyayam. So what they say is that, yes, Ramaji, go ahead.
Suteshji, lavaha.
Lavaha, yes.
One meaning is a part chipped off from something.
Yes.
And what about the name, like Rama's son, Lavaha?
Oh, Lavaha.
Lava Kusha.
I think Lava and Kusha, that is the name of a grass.
Yeah, that's also grass is divided.
Exactly.
One is Agra and the other is
Yeah.
No other part.
Mula bhag. So,
Yeah.
so correct. So that also could be a meaning. Yes, good point. Lavaha is also kind of grass. So luyate chidyati iti lavaha. Yes, I think the same. I think we can use same karaka we can use. That which gets cut is the grass. It's a kind of grass. But there is lava is still a noun. There's no problem. Sanyayam is fine over there. It's not lava is qualifying some other. I think lavaha is a kusha and lava. These are kind. I think when they were born, I think Valmiki put this grass around them to put rakshanartham. They became kusha and lava. But so yes, I think there also we can use the same thing. Yes, thank you. So I'll put that over here. That it is not only a small part, which also can mean a kind of grass, is the lava. Yes, good. Some have some participation is good. So alpanshaha atva is also a kind of grass. It is also kind of Truna Vishesha. How about that? Truna Vishesha. How we do that? Should we do that? Truna Vishesha. Athava Truna Vishesha. Vishesha. It's a kind of Truna Vishesha. I'm sorry. Truna Vishesha. It's a kind of special kind of grass. So yes, but now the problem we have with Navam is that it's not a noun. It's not a noun. Nava is not a noun. It is. I mean, you can see up there we just showed. But it's obvious. Like in Navam Shastram, in Navam Vastram, you can have a lot of things like that. So Navam Mandiram, anything we can make. So it's new. This is clearly adjective, you know. So now, what do we do now? So this is what the Kashika says over here is that Sanya Vyabhichararthashchakaraha. So sometimes he says Ko Bhavata Dayo Dattaha. So then it is this Dayaha should have been a noun. We're saying so but now he's using an adjective, it is not coming as a Sanya. Ko Bhavata Labho Labdhaha. So in these cases, you know, so you may have a situation where yes sir. Okay. So Sanya Vicharathashchakara. So let me leave you with that. Is that sometimes, you know, we may not have this Sanya all the time. So I'll put that over here as a last point before we close this. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, Navanita. How about Navanita? From Nava.
Yes.
Navanita is a butter, right?
Butter. Yes. I think
a noun, right?
But that Nita is there. That is, I think we are talking about Navaha. So let me just look at Navanita. Look at that also. Let's see what Navanita says. But let me just put this one here. So this is a Vyakhyanam. Is the cha used in the Akartri cha karake, Akartri cha karake cha. That's chakara is said for Sanya Vabhicharartha, which means it may not be Sanya all the time. So let me just put that over here. Let me look at Navanita also after that. So I think a good example here will be the Nuyate iti. So good. And I'm glad that point came out because that was going to be a point which anyway, we're going too deep beyond the book now. So Nuyate iti, it can be Nava, you know, adjective. So it can be the Navam, it can be Navaha. I think it can also be I think should be Nava. I would think there should be Ajadyata, stop. I don't see anything beyond top. Okay, now okay, Navanita. Let's see what that is. That Navanita. Now, but see, the ending word is not formed from Gain, so we don't have the problem there. But let's see how Navanita is formed. Navanita. Okay, 321.52. One of the best places to go is Amar Kosha, commentary by Bhanuji Dikshitaha. So that is gives lot of the etymologies in strict Paninian terms, you know, exact, you know, sutram which is used. Okay, let me see if I can find it for you. Navanitam, Navodhrutam. So Navam Chatan Nitancha. This is just qualifying Nita, you know. So it is which is led, which is taken out, I guess, new. So Visheshanam iti samasa. It's just a Karmadharya compound. So Navanita is just a karmadharya compound. That's all it is. So Navamcha Tannitancha. So that doesn't, I mean, that, yes, it is, Nava is still qualifying, that point is still there. Nava is in Visheshanam there also. It is not a noun. Okay, so let me see, did we get everything here? We got, before we close the page. So we started today with this interesting thing about from the May class, and we opened up one more question, is why use avyana bhumate tilapaha, because sutrena karyam siddhya, so siddhyate, it is, we can get, yasyeti cha, so I don't know why that was used. Then the other thing we have is, but at least we answered the question from the Balamanurama, and then we talked about this, bhave, pakaha, bhogaha, yogaha. So but this doesn't have to be in this bhava. It can be other meanings depending on the context. We mentioned that, and then we went to this just one example we took from 3.3.24, but how these three dhatus, these two should have taken ach by erach, should have taken yab by rudorap, but anupasarge they take gai, and then we talked about this pradi samasaha. And then akarta karaka sanyayam, how in the noun forms any karaka can be used can be used in the sense of any karaka except the doer of the action. So we saw this famous example, aharanti tasmad rasamiti aharaha. And then we got bhajyate iti bhagaha, that which is split out, labhyate iti labhaha. Then prasivyate iti prasevaha is bag. Erach we saw apavada for ghai. Again those two meanings is 3.3.18.19 meanings. So bhavayatva akartichakarike sanyayam, so ching chayane, so chayanam is collecting. Rudorap we saw karaha can mean either karanam, scattering, or it can also mean that by which you scatter, means a hand. Stuyate iti stavaha, athva stuyate anena iti stavaha. This is karane, karanarthe ghai. And then we went on to lui chedane, so it can be either alpanshaha, turna visheshaha, can be either one of them. That which is cut is this a small part, or it could be a kind of grass. Then we saw pranavaha. By the pranavaha 8.4.14 sutram get the natvam. You've seen that in the daily examples. Upasarga samasapi no padeshasya. So upasarga is there, and we have the dhatu which is nakara in the upadeshaha. So by no naha, nakara takes nakara deshaha. When the nimittam comes in upasarga, it goes back to nakara by 8.4.14. Upasarga dapi no padeshasya. So that's for nattam only. And then we saw this last example, which is nuyateti navam navaha nava, because sanya vicharatis chakaraha. Sometimes it may not be sanya. Okay, so that completes this page. I know we're going a little bit slow, but this is the last lesson in this book, really. Because next lesson is avibhava samasa, and then there is the dung lakaraha. Those are very limited topics. So this is the last 2 pages in this book. So now book page 15, we finished the bottom part. We did all of this. So daha, we already did that. It can also be, always look at those two sutras, 3.3.18.19. Which meaning fits the context the best? Okay. The next page is, we are shifting gears completely now. We are going to Tadhita Prakaranam. And here, Tadhitaha, which is called a secondary affix, is Tadhitaha. Now, the Tadhita Adhikaraha goes from 4176 up to the end of chapter 5, Tadhitaha. It's a very long adhikaraha. It is contained in the adhikara of pratyaparascha as well as nyapradipadikat. So 3.3.3.12, which is the pratyaparascha, these are pratyaha. They come after the anga, after the prakriti. They are placed after, but these are placed only. So pratyaparascha is also always keep the ashtadhyayi structure in mind. Never forget that. That's one of the main things in this class is we want to emphasize is that is the Mula Shastram. That is the Matratulyam. Mula Shastram is like our mother is the ashtadhyayi. So nya pratipadikat. So it comes after the pratipadikam. Okay, and there it is a long Tadhitaranyam. It is the long jungle of Tadhitas. So in this book again he has given very short I'll try to give you some more color as we go along, but we of course cannot give all details. So let's start over here. First he's just giving some so again Tadita Pratyaha is from 4176 to end of chapter 5. Now firstly he gives that before most secondary Taditaha, the Adi, this is the important thing, Adi. So Taditesh Vacham Adehe. Of the original word, which is the Angam, of course, once you are Pratyay, create the Angam, Yasmat Pratyay Vidhi, Tadadi Pratyay Angam. So all these sanyas are very, very important. What is Angam? What is, so Yasmat Pratyay Vidhi. So that from which, to which, Yasmat Pratyay Vidhi. So, to which the Pratyay was added. Starting from there up to the Pratyay is the Angam for that Pratyay. For that, in relation to that pratyaya. So the Angasya Dikara with these two rules, which is right below the Acho Nitya Atopada, which we've been using today repeatedly. We have this Sutra Dvayam, Dve Sutre, which is Taditeshvachama Dehe and Kiticha. So this one Anuvritti of Niti is going down. So here we have Acho Niti Atopadhaya. Acho Niti was for the ending Acha of an Angam. And this was for the Upadha Akara. But now the Pratyaya is at the Dita Sanya. Then the Acham Adehe, the Adi at the beginning, the first touch I should say, among the vowels, that which is the beginning. Doesn't have to be the beginning of the Angam, but among the vowels it has to be the first vowel. That will take Vriddhya Adesha. The Pratyaya follows Tadita Pratyaya, which is either Chavarga Panchama or Tavarga Panchama as an It. So 72117, then Kiticha. So not only the Pratyaya is Chavarga Panchama or Tavarga Panchama It, Kiti. So Kakara Yadi Asti Tarjiapi. So Tadapi Bhoti. So Kakara is an It also in Tadita. It's very confusing now because we know when you're talking about normally the Sutram Kiniticha, which does the Guna Vriddhi Nishedha normally. But with the Dita Pratyaya, with the Kit, it causes the Vriddhi of the Adiyacha. So one more time. Normally Kiniticha prevents a Pratyaya which is Kit or Nit cannot becomes important, cannot cause Vriddhi or Guna. But the special Sutram Kiticha says that the Pratyaya is a Tadita Pratyaya, which is a Kit, that will actually cause the Vriddhi of the first vowel, or the vowel which is the first among the vowels in the Angam. So be careful of this Sutram. It's Charavam Sutram, is the last Sutram, Saptamasya Dvitiye, in the second part of chapter 7. Taditeshvacham Adehe Kiticha. This is not surprising. Only thing is Acham Adehe. It's not the ending Ach. Here Acho Niti was the ending Ach. This is the first vowel among the vowels. It takes the Vriddhya Adesha and the Pratyaya for Tadita Pratyaya, which is Chavarga Panchama, Nyakara, Tavarga Panchama, Nakara is an It, but Kiticha also. So this I put in document. This is what he's saying. He puts most means this, which have one of these three as an It. Nakara, Nyakara or Kakara. So you can put a note over here. Means it has to have the Tavarga Panchama, Chavarga Panchama, Kakara as an It. That's 7211718. This is only the Angakaryam that we are not beginning. We are not going to Aranyam. We are not got into the Aranyam. Tadita Aranyam we are not entered yet. To get the Angakaryam. Which is good to do Angakaryam ahead of time. So when we go into the Aranyam, we can at least have the Angakaryam known to us. Taditeshvacham Adehe is Niti Chat Diteshu Acham Adehe Achasthane Vriddhisyat. So the vowel which is the first among the vowels doesn't have to be the beginning of the Angam. That takes the Vriddhya Adesha if the Pratyaya following is Sanya of Tadita. Tadita starts from 4176 to end of chapter 5. And it is either a Chavarga Panchamit or Tavarga Panchamit. And then Kiticha. Kiti Tadite Cha Achamadir Acha Vriddhisyat. So that's the next sutra. That's the first two. So now forget about the Acho Nityatopadhayaha. So Dita and we have to come to these two. Diteshvachama Dehe Kiticha. These two. Okay, so that is the next thing in the book. I think he finishes out the Angakaryam by giving us the when the affix begins with a yakara or a vavas. This is our friend Yachibham. A final A and E are dropped. It could be a varana by the way. Ivarnantasya avarnantasya. Look at the vritti of that sutram 6.4. Our famous sutram which we've been using a long time now. 6.4.148, 6.4.148, 6.4.148, which is yasyeti cha. 6.4.148. It doesn't have to be a rasva ikara, rasva akaraha. Avarnantasya ivarnantasya angasya bhasanyakasya lopo bhavati taddite ikare cha pare. So it says that ikare, this is a typo, I think. Ikare taddite cha pare bhasya ivarna avarnayor lopaha. Ivarnantasya avarnantasya. So you can just make a note in the book here that it doesn't have to be rasva ikarantaha. It can be avarnantangam, avarnantamangam, atva ivarnantamangam, long or short. If he says okay, so they are dropped, so lopaha, and of course alontyasya, so the ending ivarna or avarna gets dropped if the angam is the basanya, and basanya is yachibham, swadi pratyaya. Let's not forget ever that the swadis starts from 412. It includes all the pratyas end of chapter 5. Okay, so that includes of course the entire tadita adhikara. So that's one. This is 6.4.148, which we've been using a long time already. And then or gunaha, 6.4.144. So if you have a uvarnantamangam, or gunaha, and then that if it's followed, which has a sanya of bha, don't forget that we are in the adhikara of bhasya. 6.129 bhasya adhikaraha. We are adhikara of bhasya. So if you have a angam which has the bhasanya ends in the uvarna, doesn't have to be rasukara, uvarnaha, then that angam takes the guna adesha alontyasya. When the pratyaya following is the sanya of taddite, because taddite starts from anuvritti comes from 6.4.144. So one more time, if an angam has the bhasanya, it ends in the uvarnaha, then that angam will take the guna adesha if taddite pareya. So the pratyaya which is following is sanya of tadditaha. And while in the topic, also let us mention nastadite. Nastadite is ter lopaha. If you have a nakarantam angam which has the bhasanya followed by a pratyaya which is taddita sanya, then the angam takes ti lopaha, achontyadi ti. Ti bhaga, so starting from the last vowel to the end of the angam, take lopaha. So we have these three rules: yasyeti cha, or gunaha, and nastadite. Yasyeti says that is all apply when the angam has the bhasanya. Yasyeti cha applies for ivarnantam or avarnantam angam when the pratyaya following is the dita sanya athva ikare cha pare. Angam takes lopaha alontyasya, the ending ivarna or avarna takes lopaha. Or gunaha says if you have a uvarnantam angam has the bhasanya followed by pratyaya which is the dita sanya, it takes guna adesha alontyasya, the ending uvarna will take the guna adesha okaraha. Nastadite says that if you have a nakarantam angam which has the bhasanya followed by pratyaya which is the dita sanya, nakarantam angam will take the ti lopaha. I think he doesn't have this. No, he did not have the nakarantam angam. This should be 6.4.145. So sorry, 146. This is 6.4.146 or gunaha. I just also gave 6.4.144 is nastadite. I don't think he has it here. He doesn't have it here. He may have it later on. But anyway, let's go to the document here for a second. And so what I put down here is that yasyeti cha ikare taddite cha pare bhasye varnayor lopaha. So ivarnantasya bhasya lopavati taddite ikare cha pare. And then we have or gunaha which uvarnantasya bhasya guna bhavati taddite parataha. Let me add here also. We probably might need it at some point, which is the nastadite. Of course, we're not taking all the possible rules, but that nastadite is going to also apply. So this one is uvarnantasya bhasya guna bhavati taddite parataha. That is gone. Oh, I already put it. It's already here. Okay. Nastadite says that nantasya bhasya ter lopas taddite. Okay, so with that introduction, now he goes into the subject of, which pratyaya comes in what meaning. Again, I must say one more time, this section has more than 1,000 rules, and in this book he has given in very, very brief. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for us to get a good idea and yet follow the book. But let us start. We will start from somewhere. There are, in fact, he does say, there's a great variety of secondary affixes. There really, really is. Not only that, in a great variety of meanings they come. But there's a good news. The good news is that once you figure out what the prakriti is, what the pratyaya is, angakaram is sukaram. There is one good news, is that once you, normally speaking, the angakaryam, which when we add in the case of dhatus, angakaryam can be pretty involved, samprasaranam and this and that, but here, here angakaryam is to be straightforward. But yes, there are the variety of affixes. In fact, the same affix with different it letters, the same affix, yeah, variety of its can come in a lot of places. So it's a complicated section. And not only to add so-called insult to injury is that after all these 1,000 rules, still we cannot derive some of the forms you see in the language. Anyway, so enough said. Let's go into it. He said we limit to the important ones. Okay. So an, pratyaya an. The first thing here is the adhika pragdivyato an. Pragdivyato an, which we have repeated many times in the class, but we have not done the book as such. So from 4183. Tadita is one thing important, like with any pratyaya, you have to know, prakriti. What is the prakriti? Ka prakriti. So, so after which prakriti is pratyaya prescribed? And of course, ka pratyaya. Then kasmin arthe vidhiyate. These three things. Etat tritayam jnatavyam. This set of three, tritayam, is that, this set of three has to be known, which is, so this set of three, which is that what is the prakriti, which word can take this pratyaya, and let's not forget we are in the adhikar of nyap pratipadikat. So this is only going to be after a pratipadikam. So which pratipadikam can take this pratyaya? Of course, what is the pratyaya? And let's never forget in what meaning. It's very, very important here also. So etat tritayam jnatavyam, this group of three, which is because the same pratyaya an comes in variety of meanings. I mean, literally variety. In fact, in case of an, it also comes in a lot of miscellaneous meanings also. So just because you got the form, it doesn't tell you. Of course, you can get a general idea. Some kind of sambandha is there, So you can say, when you say Dashrathasya apatyam puman dasharatihi Ramaha. So you can understand that Dasharatihi or Vasudevaha has some sambandha with Vasudeva and Dashratha respectively. So that much you can understand. But what kind of meaning it is can be a tricky thing. Because depending on different vivaksha of the speaker, it could be different meanings. So keep that in very important. Because yes, when I look at the form Vasudevaha, look at form Aupagavaha, looking at these forms, I can like Shankara Bhashyam, I can understand this is some connection is there. But to be able to go and find the exact proper meaning is not trivial. Because the sheer number of rules, there's so many rules. So the sutram which gives the artha, artha vidhanam, which kasmin arthe, artha nirdeshaha, that these could be three different rules. That's the most complicated thing now. If we want to know which prakriti, which pratipadika going to take this pratyaya, what is the pratyaya and which meaning? They can be coming in three different rules, three different meanings, three different places. Just a quick example, just we can say that with this we have pragdivyato an. So pratyaya an is there. But that only says the pratyaya as a default. What Sutram says is that up to the word divyat. So up to the word 442. So here Panini only sets the default pratyaya, utsargaha. So that's only the default. He doesn't tell you in what meaning. Didn't tell you in which prakriti you can take it. So all which was done in this up to Prague, up to the word divyati, which comes in 442. So from 4183 up to 442, we can use a pratyaya an. So I shouldn't say that. The pratyaya an is the default, which means that if there is no vishesha pratyaya prescribed, vishesha vidhanam nasti chet, an pratyaya vidhiyate. An comes. So this is just gives an example that, but we don't know in what meaning an can be used. We don't even know which prakriti can take it so far. So that's 4183 only sets the pratyaya. But then now after that, Panini starts the adhikara of tasyapatyam. So now this is giving you the meaning in which pratyas can be used. So in the meaning of the offspring, the progeny, it doesn't have to be adantaram apatyam. It can be anybody. It can be son, grandson, great grandson. We can look at this in detail in the next few classes. So let's not go too deep right now. But this adhikara tasyapatyam means somebody's progeny, somebody who is born in his lineage. Doesn't have to be his immediate son or daughter. Anybody along the line who's born from him. So now we got the meaning. So far we got that an can be used from the sense of tasyapatyam. Still doesn't tell you which prakriti can take it. So it is samanyen vidhanam. So as a general rule, anybody who we are referring to his offspring, not necessarily immediate offspring, we can use a pratyaya an, what we got. But of course, there are many rules down here which tell us in special cases we have to use. For example, here comes this sutram which is ata in. Now this gives us two conditions. If you have adantam pratipadikam. So now this is telling us which prakriti can take this pratyaya in. Pratyaya in is the apavada for an was the usarga's apavada. But this has two pieces in it. This telling us that the prakriti, the pratipadikam has to be adantam. And is telling us the pratyaya should be e. But in what meaning? In the adhikara of tasyapatyam. So now we got all three pieces now. So if you have somebody like Dasharatha, Dasharathasyapatyam, Dasharathi, Ramaha. So because Dasharatha ends in akaraha and in the adhikara tasyapatyam, Panini says pratyaya e has to be used. We get the form Dasharathi here. Of course, the Dasharathi, because we'll derive all this in detail. Right now, I'm just telling you how these three pieces have to fall together, and they may be in different places for any given word. Sometimes one may be specified in one place, another may be specified in another place. There may be adhikara going down in something. So this is what we have to try to mix and match. So finally in any given Sadyata formation, in fact even Krudanta formation also, because see what was happening before is that we had the adhikara of dhatoho going on in chapter 3. So immediately we know that these pratyas can only come after dhatu. It's known to us. Dhatus are limited. There are not millions of dhatus. But pratipadikam could be any pratipadikam, any words pratipadikam. It can take any pratyaya. So now it becomes important to know which pratipadikam can take this. Sometimes Panini may not give the pratipadikam, which means it is samanyana vidhanam. Any pratipadikam can take as a starting point. Sometimes he may give just he might set the pratyaya. So okay, let's take a specific right now. Let's start with this. So we have to know at the end of the day which prakriti can take it, which is the pratyaya, and in what meaning. Never forget that last piece. And they may be in different places, which is what makes this adhikara difficult. There are a variety of pratyayas, and there are more than 1,000 rules. So, but let's start with Prag Divyat. An at pratyaya. An is default from 4183 to 442. It's a large section in which an comes as default. And so we are going to be seeing a few cases of that. Of course, today time is running out, but we'll see in a later class. So Prag Divyato, and the word Divyat comes in 442. 442 comes Divyas up to that point. Then within that, now let me just remind you one more thing. Is a default, but there are sutras below that, which also Panini put some pratyas in place, but not as a general samanyana vidhanam, the prakriti visheshebhyaha. So after some, for example, let's look at this one. He says that let's see here. Stri pumsabhyam nyai snayau bhavanat. So let's look at this one now. Stri pumsabhyam. This is, I'm just taking a quick example here to show you how Panini might set a pratyaya to apply after certain pradipadikam only in a certain section. So stri pumsabhyam. So the pradipadikam stri, single pradipadikam stri, and pradipadikam pums, they will take yatha sankhya respectively the pratyaya nyai or snai up to where? Up to the word bhava, word bhavana. So now Panini is setting the pratyaya nyai after the pradipadikam stri and the pratyaya snai after pradipadikam pums. So all these meanings which come below now, so far he didn't say in which specific meaning, but in all the meanings from here up to bhavanat, if the stri pradipadikam is used, it will take the pratyaya nyai only. If pums is used, pratyaya snai. So now this overrules the an already. An was default, but now specific vishesha vidhanam. If stri and pums will take these two up to bhavana. So let's look at bhavana. I think it may point tatra bhava. Let's look at 4. This is just one example. So an is not the only pratyaya. Of course, an is the grandfather of them all. That is the default, master default. Says dhanyanam bhavanaha. So up to dhanyanam bhavane. So up to 521 now. So see, now Panini has put this pratyaya nyai and snai respectively after stri and pums all the way up to 521. So this also tells you how different sections, different pratyayas can be put after different prakritis as defaults. So whenever pradipadikam stri is used in any meaning up to this bhavana, then pratyaya nyai has to be used only. And pums is used, snai has to be used. Anyway, it's introduction. So this is, so an is not the only one. The many others will come after specific pradipadikebhyaha. So right now we Prag Divyato an up to 442, and the adhikara, the first adhikara in terms of meaning is tasyapatyam. Okay, so he says that an is affixed used in a variety of meanings. You understand why now? Because it's a default from 4183 to 442. Not only that, beyond that also an may be used. Doesn't mean that an is used only in that section. We never said that. For example, we're going to see a section a little bit later on. Tasya bhavastvatalav. Now here also we have an an. Hayanantayuvadibhyo an. So now this an is specifically prescribed. It is beyond 442. Doesn't matter. So doesn't mean an is confined only to 4183 to 442. It might be specifically prescribed after that also. So within that 483 to 442, variety of meanings are coming. So there itself an is used in a lot of places. Beyond that also an might be used. That's what he means by even variety of meanings. So first example, denote descendant of somebody, because the adhikara of tasyapatyam, which goes from 41892 apada samaptehe up to the end of the padaha, is within the adhikara of Prag Divyato an. Let's take a quick example. Bhrugora patyam bhargavaha yadoha patyam Yadavaha. Let's take these two quick examples, and time is running out now. So Pragdivyaton is that Tena Divya, so Divyat is here. Tena Divyati, like this. Kanati Ityataha Prag Anadikriyate. So up to the word Divyat, we have to and comes as default. If nothing else is prescribed specifically, and presents himself. Tasyapatyam is shashtyantat krita sandehya. Now, when we want to create a secondary noun, so to speak, or actually secondary affixes, taditaha, then within the prakriti, any angam like sandhikaryam is antarangam. That should be finished first. So perform all the sandhi operation etc. in the as antarangam. It is inside the prakriti. The prakriti should be ready to take the pratyaha. So krita sandhehe, sashtyanta krita sandhehe samartha. There should be some connection. There should be a logical connection between. You just cannot tell this pratyaya with no connection. So samarthad apatyarthe uktaha vakshyamanaschya. Sorry. Pratyaha vasyuho. Pakshe vakyam. Pakshe vakyam. You can also say Bhrugoho apatyam puman bhargavaha. But pakshe, you can have, you can say that you have vakyam. You can also have the tadita formation. Okay. Now, why do you say shashtiyantad? Because tasya. Tasya means should be shashtyantam. Prakriti, like Dasharathasya, Bhrugoho, Yadoho, Shashtyan Krita Sandhehe. Sandhika should be inside the Prakriti Antarangam. Prakriti should be ready. Don't need the operation, the karyam inside the Prakriti should be finished first. Then Samarthad should be there should be a connection between Dasharatha and your Putra. So even just because Dasharatha is in Shashti, if you are not referring to his son, you can say Guroho Dasharatha Guroho Putraha. Now it is not Dasharatha's son anymore. It is Guru's son, Vashishta's son maybe. So Dasharatha we cannot take the Praktyayan anymore. This is not his son. He's in Shashti, okay. Dasharatha Guroho Putraha, when you say Dasharatha is Shashti, can we blindly say Shashtiyantam we have, let's put the Pratyayan Tasyapatyam? No. Even though Apatyam is there, even though Shashtiyantam is there, which is not his son. Dashrathasya Guroho Putraha, it is not his son. So it should be Samarthad. Apatyarthe Uktaha Vakshamanascha. What is that? But this is the Vritya of Bhattu Dikshita. See how careful he is, how beautifully he writes everything. Shashtyantat Tasya Kuta Sandhehe Samarthat. Just because Shashti is there, you can blindly put Tadhyapatya on top of that. There should be a Samarthyam should be there. Apatyarthe, because this Tasyapatyam. Uktaha Vakshamanascha Pratyaha, and then Vasyo. Vakshe Vakyam. So those which have been already prescribed, those which have been already told, which are going to be told. So what is that now? We just talked about that. That from 4192 is that we already had some pratyas prescribed, mainly Pragdivyaton, and also some below that. For example, here Utsadibhyo Ai. This is Gana, Utsadi Ganaha. The pratyaya Ai is taken by them. So these are already prescribed. And then there are going to be many more which are going to be prescribed below Tasyapatyam. So Atai might be coming. Now, Atai will only come in the meaning of Tasyapatyam. Tasyapatyam. So this Atai Pratyaya is Vakshamana Pratyaya, which is going to be told after Tasyapatyam. So there are going to be a bunch of those. But there are some told below. Now, for example, An goes all the way to 442. It extends beyond Tasyapatyam. So these will extend beyond Tasyapatyam. These ones. So these which are performed from 4183. I know time is up. We'll take only one example and stop now. So 4183, which is Pragdivyaton, is going to extend beyond Tasyapatyam. That's why this was put before Tasyapatyam. Because they are called the Mahotsargaha. Mahautsarga means they're going to be they're like grandfathers. They go way beyond that. So they are going to extend somewhere beyond. So this is the construction here. Is that first Pani puts some default pratyas in place. So these will extend for a while, and then within the adhikara of tasyapatyam he puts specific pratyas, specific conditions for just for the adhikara of tasyapatyam he puts those in there. That's what is meant by uktaha vakshamanascha. Some were defaulted prior, they're going to go beyond tasyapatyam. Some were going to come just in the adhikara tasyapatyam in specific condition. Okay, let's take one quick example and we will stop. Bhrugorapatyam puman, a male offspring of Bhrigu, doesn't have to be anantaram apatyam, doesn't have to be anantara apatyam antram, doesn't have to be anantaram, it have to be immediate, can be later also. So otherwise, see, once you get all this in place, the steps are easy. So Bhrigu plus Shashtyantam Nyas, because Sutra mein Tasya, Tasyapatyam, Pratya An, by Tasyapatyam Adhikaraha, Pragdivyato An, Anubandha Lopaha, Halantyam Tasya Lopaha, Samudayagash Pradipadika Sanya Kritiza Samasascha, Taditeshvacham Adehe, the Rukara takes the Vridyadeshaha, the first, among the vowels, the first vowel, Urandaparaha, Bhargu, then Or Gunaha, we have the Sanya of by Yachibham, we have the Bhasanya, and then Or Gunaha. So we get the Okara Desha and then Echayavayavaha Bharga. We'll continue next time. For homework, you can look at these rules 4.2.24, 4.3.25, 4.3.50. These are various meanings. And comes. You can also look at 5.1.1, 30.1.31. Also, please scan the adhikara of tasyapatyam. See, in the book, the way it's organized, the book is taken pratyaya anusarena. This is the rachana. But Panini may not do that. Panini has adhikara tasyapatyam. He will finish all the pratyam in the sense of tasyapatyam. But here in the book, he has taken pratyaya wise, so affix wise. So we'll have to skip. We have to jump from here to there. So you can look at then pratyaya. Just give you some homework. 7.3.50, 51 for pratyaya thak, 4.1.1, 4.1, 146. You know what? Let's stop with that because there's some complications down here. We'll stop with this. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam